Are you serious? I literally just graduated college, I just got hired a month ago, and now they want me to pay back my student loan debt? Are you kidding me?
America's student loan debt is greater than car loan debt and credit card debt.
Because America is drowning in student debt like never before.
When you think of the number 2020, you think of clear vision, clear focus. But the focus and vision isn't quite so clear in terms of affordable education. Once you first started grade school, the value of education has been sort of instilled within you. For many students, they were taught by receiving an education, opportunities for a better life are endless. And for others, higher education is the ultimatum. College has become an appealing experience due to the heavy competition and the hunger to succeed. Yet, it has resulted in a costly aftermath. As we restart into a new decade, 2020, let's develop solutions to change the student debt crisis within America.
People aren't making more money, and college is objectively way more expensive.
University just raised its tuition to $74,000 a year. I don't know how, making $100,000 for a family of four, someone can afford $74,000 for one of their children to go to school each year.
Oh my goodness! What you just previously witnessed was a reaction a college student might have when they suddenly realize how much money they owe the government. Just imagine putting aside buying a house, a car, or even starting a family because you decided to obtain a higher education. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, over 4.5 million Americans have student loan debt, which adds up to roughly $1.5 trillion. In retrospect, if 68% of college graduates consume student loan debt, that is nearly 7 out of 10 people.
We will make a full and complete education a human right in America.
We can make technical school 2-year college, 4-year college, tuition free. We can put $50 billion into our historically black colleges and universities. And we can cancel student loan debt for 43 million Americans.
But here's the problem. Many of them lack knowledge on how to apply for loans and strategies to avoid over-borrowing.
The government has put their financial futures in the hands of predatory, for-profit loan servicing companies.
They should look at college graduation rates. They should look at typical student debts. They should look at student loan default rates.
We need to start that process and that discussion of what that need is really, really early. Typically speaking, what we see oftentimes is it's July and August, and we have entering freshmen that's just graduated high school in June, getting ready to go their first year, and they're not prepared. They've not done the things that they needed to do so that their education is taken care of, that financial aid process is finished. And what we typically see is a situation where they're taking whatever they can get.
Money should be spent on federally funding financial literacy courses to educate students on scholarships, taxes, budgeting, and how to correctly apply for loans. Though the student debt crisis impacts the entire social spectrum, it has become a marginalized issue within the minority community, especially for those of color. For many minority communities, education is seen as a solution for getting out of the damaged environment. But the reoccurrence of this issue is due to the structural discrimination and wealth gap that persists in America.
As we have that less historical wealth, we have less of that cushion to fall back on, and then when we do get jobs, we make less money.
My own journey reflects the challenges of navigating a system that simply is not built for everyone, of jumping through untenable hurdles to complete a degree.
It feels accessible in some ways more than ever for young people of color, but then inaccessible.
Nearly 85% of black college graduates carry student loan debt in comparison to 65% of white graduates. Not to mention, for black student loan consumers, the rate of paying back the loan stands at only 4%.
It goes back to our fundamental wealth inequalities we have in this country. It's going to take about 222 years if whites and blacks were to make the same amount. Starting now, it would take about 222 years for our gap to close.
It may be that we have a higher
number of African American students going to historically black colleges, which are often private schools, and the tuition is larger.
A solution for reducing and potentially closing the wealth gap is by investing time and funds into education nationally and within the minority community.
What you're starting to see is there's an entire generation of younger African Americans. The New York Times just wrote a piece about it, who are struggling. What I place this under is the theory that when the country gets a cold, minority groups, black folk in particular, get pneumonia.
2020 gives us the opportunity to rewrite the future for affordable education. But the real question is, are the people in Washington ready to refocus?